Hello, everybody. My name's Elijah,
And my name's Luke.
and we are the Eagles of Steel.
And today, we're going to be discussing we're still going to stick with top 10. We're going to go to top 10 worst NFL play calls.
Dang. So pretty much what we're doing is talk about the different calls that were either missed, shouldn't have been called, or just really stupid events that took place in the history. Disclaimer, we do not know everything. We do not watch every single game that came out since like the 60s. So if we didn't include something, please do not be a baby. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Now, we can get right into our honorable mentions. My first honorable mention will be in the Music City Miracle. Basically what this was, it was an illegal four-pass lateral across the field. It was on a kickoff to the other side. This is in 1999, by the way, in the wild card. But this is still a debatable play because it was so close. Like, it was straight across.
Yeah, I actually remember, I never watched the play live because I wasn't born yet. But when I have rewatched that play, it's very hard. You can't really overturn it if they called it okay, because it's just that close. If they called it the other way around, they also couldn't have overturned it that way either, if they had the flag. It's one of those very debatable ones. I'm sorry, Bills. You got screwed over a little bit on that, and you're still getting screwed over today, actually. But my first honorable mention is the holding call in the Eagles versus Chiefs Super Bowl 57.
Break my heart, man.
I remember me and him, my friend here, were watching that game together at his place, and we saw that play.
We were furious about it.
We were flipping. I almost threw something at the TV.
Glad you didn't.
It was still a very sad moment, and of course the Chiefs won. Anyway, my number 11 is might be a shocker for some people, but I have it down this low for a reason. So the tuck rule, back with the Patriots versus Raiders divisional round in 2001, where Brady totally fumbled the ball. Raiders got it. They called it a fumble on the field, but then, oh my goodness, Brady Magic comes out and makes it an incomplete pass out of nowhere because of some random rule that no one knew about at that time called the tuck rule. I still don't understand this play to this day because when you still look at it, it's still a fumble. Even with modern time decision making on how refs do it today, that's a fumble now.
Anyways, my number 11, my second honorable mention, is the index card first down. Raiders-Cowboys 2017. So here's what happened. So the Cowboys had the ball, and they were probably about inches short of the first down, maybe less. So Gene Steratore was the ref in that game, and pulled out an index card from his pocket and put it down between the ball and the stick, and then he got up and he did this. First down. Really? That really wasn't a first down. It was more like fourth and inches.
When you say fourth and inches, it was more like fourth and centimeter.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was
actually that was a fourth down play. They wouldn't gotten the ball turned over.
Well, it was a fourth down. The game was tied with 4 minutes left in the game. So I feel like they would have went for it regardless and probably just would have snuck it with Prescott or something. But still, though, that was kind of bull that they got free first down out of that.
All right, on to number 10. We have one of your honorable mentions. I had the Bradbury holding on Smith-Schuster. Like I said, it hurts to my heart to this day why they call this as a holding. But it really was not. They just wanted the Chiefs to win. That's why.
That's pretty much it. My number 10, and this is going from his, where it's something that went for the Chiefs. My number 10 is something where it goes with the Patriots, which was against the Chiefs at the time. It was the 2018 AFC Championship game. There was a roughing the passer call where Tom Brady pretty much just got patted on the chest, and they called it roughing.
What?
I'm not kidding. If you go back and rewatch that play, you can search it up on YouTube. But pretty much, Chris Jones, I think he was still in his rookie year. He had to reach over a guy, and he pats him on the chest, and they called that a roughing call.
That's a bunch of
Didn't hit his face. Didn't do anything like that. It was just a sudden hit, and they called it roughing. That is probably easily one of the worst things in history when it comes down to calls. I'll say that. My number 9, there was a face mask in the 2019 game between the Lions and Eagles of Week 4.
Okay.
And it was all on a kick return where the Lions kicked the ball off to the Eagles. The Eagles were running back. I think it was rookie Miles Sanders or second-year Miles Sanders.
No, it was rookie. I think it was rookie year.
Okay. He was running back. Pretty much the Lion guy went right into his face mask and almost tore his head off. The way that he was at that speed and the way the mask went, it went he turned his mask completely around
Did
and it came off.
he take his helmet right off?
Yeah, and it was not called.
How?
I don't know. Blind refs, I guess. They decided to take a break that day.
I assume so. Anyways, my number 9. Well, you already mentioned this, the Tuck rule. And again, I have down here Raiders Patriots in the 2001 AC Divisional Playoffs. They called it incomplete, but it was clearly a fumble. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Well, lucky for us, they abolished that rule the next day.
But what is funny, though, or not funny, but terrible, was that the Patriots won the Super Bowl that year. Probably they wouldn't have been there at all if they got that fumble. That's what's crazy.
Alright, so my number 8 is Cowboys-Packers 2014 NFC Divisional Playoffs. No catch for Des Bryant. He called it, this was on a 4th down play, I'm pretty sure. Des Bryant went up and called it. He was right at the goal line. What he was saying to the rest was, I was trying to reach across. You could see he loses control just a little bit, but his hands were still under it, and they called it incomplete.
I know, like, if the ball would have hit the ground, I would have maybe seen why they would have reversed it. But it never did. I know we both hate the Cowboys, but the Cowboys really got screwed on that one. My number 8, which is actually funny, it's actually from the game prior to that one.
Okay.
And it's for the Cowboys. It was a missed PI call, or actually more like a called PI that was picked up by the refs.
Huh?
It was on the Lions tight end Pettigrew, I think it was at the time.
Yes.
He pretty much had no chance of catching the ball. The Cowboys guy was all over him, blocked him, wasn't looking for the ball. Everything that would constitute a PI call. They had the PI call right, but they picked it up, and the Cowboys won that game.
I did not know you could pick up a PI call.
Oh, refs seem to do it all the time. It's just stupid when they do, because it's usually when they're right. Yeah, Cowboys were gifted, but then the next week they were cursed. So I guess it was righting the wrongs. I just feel bad for Lions fans, though. Number 7 for me is actually 2 different plays, because it's from the same game. From the 2022 Bengals versus Chiefs AFC Championship game. There was an extra down and an unnecessary roughness call that was complete and utter bullcrap.
So what about the extra down? You can't get an extra down.
You wouldn't think. In this game, they managed it. They apparently said they called the play dead before the play was snapped. Nothing that wasn't clear on the field, and the players didn't know about that. None of the coaches knew about that.
It was just all the refs?
It was all the refs on that one, and it gave the Chiefs an extra down. Also, the same game, there was a bullcrap unnecessary roughness call where the guy pretty much just taps Mahomes while Mahomes was tripping out of bounds. They gave a 15-yard penalty, won the Chiefs that game, went to the Super Bowl to beat the Eagles with that holding call that we mentioned earlier.
Wow.
Chiefs were so gifted that Super Bowl that year. That is for dang sure.
Okay, for my number 7, I have, you're not going to like this one, 2017 Week 15 Pittsburgh, New England, the Jesse James touchdown called back. So, here's what happened. Obviously, this was back when Roethlisberger was QB. He threw it to his tight end, Jesse James, and he clearly reached across the goal line for a touchdown, and apparently it was called back, maybe because it hit the ground?
Yeah. What's your next one on that list? What's your number 6?
My number 6 is what your number 7 was. It was the 2022 AFC Championship game, Bengals-Chiefs, the extra down, and the unnecessary roughness call. That was a bunch of baloney. Extra down? Are you kidding me? You can't get an extra down. When you call the play dead, it should be 4th down instead. That unnecessary roughness call, because I did watch that game. Why? Like, all he did was the little tap, and they throw 15-yard penalty.
Yep. My number 6 is his number 7, which was the Jesse James touchdown. Here's my angle from it as a Steelers fan. So the prior play before that, I'm pretty sure it was Smith-Schuster, but we got someone got wide open enough to where he was able to get all the way down to about the 10 or 11 yard line with 20 seconds left or so. And then the next play, to see the Steelers get right into the end zone in 2 plays with 28 seconds left on the clock for Brady or whatever. Oh man, I was so excited. Even the commentators and everybody watching knew it was a completed catch and a reach forward. You understand why I hate Brady and the Patriots. How was that recalled?
I can see why you do hate Patriots.
The amount of times the Steelers gotten screwed over by the Patriots is unbelievable. And the fact that happened to me was just, because he caught that pass. It was exactly like the Dez caught it. But, where he had the control, and he reached forward, ball never actually hit the ground because he had his hand underneath it the whole time, but they called it incomplete. And then guess what happened the next play? Interception in the end zone. We lost the game. Patriots got the 1 seed, went to the Super Bowl, And that was the year when they lost to the Eagles.
That's a little salt in their mouth.
Yeah, at least there's that. I'm still frustrated to this day. My number 5, the Dez caught it, which you brought that up already. But the reason why I have it above the Jesse James touchdown is because it was the OG version.
It kind of makes sense.
That's why I have it above it, because it's still pretty bad. It was obvious. We already talked about it. Dez caught it, never hit the ground. Should have been a catch. First and goal at like the 1 yard line. Cowboys probably would have won that game. Or maybe not, because I think there was like a minute left in that game.
No, they ended up winning the game, I'm pretty sure.
No, the Cowboys lost that game. It was the Packers won. The Packers could have probably still won the game even with a touchdown there, because there was still time left on the clock. So they could have actually went downfield and done something to make the game go on or whatever. So it wasn't over, but it would have gave the Cowboys a better shot. So that play just screwed them over.
Anyways, for my number 5, I have the Fail Mary. So what that is, it was a Seattle-Green Bay game. It was Russell Wilson at the time as Seattle quarterback. This is back in week 3 of 2012. He was in Hail Mary position around the midfield. So he chucked it towards the end zone because it was the closing seconds, like 3 seconds left. And there were like 3 Green Bay Packer defenders, Golden Tate, the wide receiver. It was clearly intercepted, but they called it a touchdown, and that's what the ruling on the field was, and it standed after they looked at it. I'm like, what?
That's unbelievable. So what's your number 4 anyway?
My number 4 is the 2-point fail, the Dallas-Detroit 2022 Week 17. So here's what happened. The offensive lineman goes up to the ref, says he's eligible, but the ref just walks away. So when they do the play, he gets wide open for the catch, and they say, illegal touching. We were both watching this, and we were like, what?
Oh, man, we were both heated on that. I remember that.
And Dallas ended up winning the game because of that.
All right, my number 4 is the Fail Mary that you also just brought up. Here's how I thought about it. It was definitely intercepted by Greg Jennings, who was the defender going up against Golden Tate. It was clearly in his hands. They were kind of fighting over a little bit, but clearly Greg Jennings had more possession over it than the other guy. But the refs couldn't decide when they first looked at it. One ref went up as touchdown. The other one said it was a pick. So refs had a debate over it. Also, cool little thing that I didn't realize. That year, there was a refs strike.
What's that?
So what it was is that year the refs, or normal referees from the NFL games, were not refereeing those games at that time. It was actually like pretty much a brand new set of referees that kind of didn't really know what was going on as much as those other ones did.
Are you kidding me?
There's probably more to it, but it was really bad. After that game, the original refs quit their strike and they came back. My number 3 is the illegal man with the 2023 Lions Cowboys. You already mentioned it a little bit, but I'm going to mention a little more about it. So watching that play, when we saw that 2-point conversion, we were so hyped. We just thought the Lions just got the 1 seed after that play.
We both did.
And we were like celebrating. We were like, oh my gosh, the Lions just won. And then...
illegal touching.
Yes. And the flag felt like it came out of nowhere because there was nothing wrong with the play. And then they showed the replay of the guy going up to the ref and saying he was eligible. So everything worked. It should have been fine. The refs just hate Lions fans. So that's why it happened.
Okay,
all right.
For my number 3, this is a little interesting. It's the Eagles-Bills 2023 clear miss horse collar turned into an intentional grounding that eventually turned into a blocked field goal.
Wait, hold on a minute. You're actually doing a call that you wanted to have called against your team?
Yep.
Interesting.
So it was Hassan Reddick, and going to sack Josh Allen, the quarterback. He was clearly outside the pocket. He dragged him down back over his shoulder on his jersey. Clearly, it was a horse collar, so it should have been a free first down for Buffalo. But here's the thing. Before Josh Allen went down, he threw the ball forward, and then they threw it for intentional grounding. And that was the loss of a down, and then they had to kick a field goal, but it was blocked.
That hurt.
Again, sorry, Bills fans.
Yeah.
My number 2, I have the missed pass interference call in the Saints-Rams 2018 NFC Championship game. You cannot be more blatantly obvious about this pass interference call. The defender rammed into the wide receiver and no call. Rammed him out of bounds. I don't know how more obvious it can get. Sean Payton was fuming after that.
Funny thing is, my number 2 is the exact same. We both had that at number 2. And the reason why, same thing, it was the worst missed call I think I have ever seen. The guy got decked. Flew right into the side. Ball was coming at him. Guy didn't even look to see if the ball was coming at him. Breeze got hosed. Again, the amount of times Breeze got hosed from getting to a Super Bowl is just so ridiculous. He had so many chances to get to a Super Bowl, but they kept screwing him over. And I feel so bad. Now, for my number one, and I think it's actually both of our number ones, it is the illegal replay / Bottlegate from 2001 Browns versus Jaguars Week 13.
Okay, so explain why this is your number one.
It is the number one because the Browns, it was a 4th and 2. They passed it to a guy. Sure, it was technically incomplete, but they called it a catch on the field. The other team got a spike in afterward, and so they got the full play of the next play in, but then the refs decided to go back and overturn the play prior, and that is blatantly illegal.
And I also, yeah, you're right. I had the number one, same one as you did. I call it the illegal replay because you can't go back before the spike and look at it again. You can't do that. Once the spike is through, you can't replay backwards. I can tell you this. I looked this up. The fans were rioting afterwards. They were pissed off.
To say lightly. That's why it's called Bottlegate, because we could actually probably show you pictures. There was bottles all over the field. And even the players decided just to stop playing the game. Both Jaguars and Browns fans both just stopped playing. They didn't want to keep playing because of how bullcrap that was. I think the Jaguars, they knew they were given a favor. And they didn't like that. So but then they were forced to come out and finish the game. For me right there, that goes down as the worst moment or worst call and everything in NFL history right there.
And same for me. It's obvious, too, that was a horrible call. You do not do that. So that was our top 10 worst NFL calls. Yes, sorry if fans out there, if we don't remember your call, sorry about that.
Yeah. Guys, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games that we would have had to watch, every single one of them, scour every one to see if what's valid and wasn't, and just, it would have been way too hard. These are some of the big popular ones, plus ones that we just have ingrained in our memory pretty much at this point. If we missed yours, please list it in the comments below. And like we said earlier, do not be a baby. Do not complain and say we didn't have it. If you want to share it, go ahead. You have all rights to the comments below.
This is Luke.
And this is Elijah. And we are the Eagles of Steel.